for like little local films and stuff like that. I mean, I wasn't doing anything big, but you got to start somewhere. And I did relaxation music, even made a few bucks like selling CDs. So just anything to do with just
ambient kind of stuff.
Ambient stuff, just stuff you could, like for yoga classes and things, or for meditation, whatever you want to do with it.
No shit, that's
just
awesome.
Anything to do with making music. And then around 2000-ish, when I started DJing, me and my mate made a track. Didn't do too much with it, but then I decided in 2002 to go away and go to Europe for a while and stuff. And then in the meantime, I got signed, so I came back to Australia like sort of 2005.
Off that one track? Or
that. But funny thing is, the track ended up falling through, just the way things work. So I then I found a singer that I liked, and I always loved. Dirty Cash was my first track. It was a cover of a 1989, I think it was, just the cover of this. I really loved the original dance track, and sent that to Vicious Recordings. Can
you look that up, Mitch, as well?
They've been around for ages. Yeah. They've been. They sort of were the launching pad for Avicii. And
really?
Dirty South.
And Dirty South?
Yeah.
Holy shit, all right. So, yeah, they must be big.
So, yeah. So what, something didn't work out, my new project started.
I clicked their Instagram or something like that, Mitch. But, so, yeah, that you're...
Yeah, so, so it wasn't like, I didn't have a sort of ambition for dance music until I got into DJing, and then sort of like had a go at it. So,
what would you say like one of your top 3 favorite genres are that aren't dance music, to an extent, or including dance music?
I mean, I love funk and soul.
Yeah,
and I play a lot of it as well, like in bars, and especially when I was in Hamburg. There were some places that just did really good funk and soul, like just stuff like it can be new or old. So. Probably some sort of indie rock, I guess.
Tough question.
Yeah, it's because I like a bit of everything, I guess. Yeah. So
you kind of have to be a DJ. Asking that question to a DJ, kind of like a loaded question, don't you think, Alex?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, you could ask me that, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you say what other genres, I could go this and this, but when you say top 3, I don't know. But
yeah.
It depends. It's also if it's for listening or if it's for DJing as well, I guess. So, because I love like stuff like Depeche Mode and that from the 80s. Or,
Depeche Mode's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet you don't even know many of the tracks, Mitch.
I wouldn't be able to name the tracks for sure.
Yeah,
I do know Depeche Mode. Yeah,
everything counts. Enjoy the silence.
Sure, Alex.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's I think that's good for a DJ as well. If you've played, I mean, like you play so many genres.
Yeah, that's how I got taught to an extent. Yeah,
it just makes you well rounded, because I did the same, and you work out how to control dance floors by playing other genres of music, like how a drum beat or a guitar riff triggers the way people move. And then so if you do play dance music or hip hop or whatever, you can sort of incorporate the energy of those tracks into it.
That's exactly it. Well, that's exactly it. Like when I first got taught how to do it, the guy who taught me, or a good friend of mine, it was always just said, look around the room. What can you play to get that person singing or dancing, or get them up and jumping around, or doing this or doing that, like just to interact, like you said, with the audience, to be able to get them going. Yeah, and it's just
you just learn it. You take something from every genre. That's it. So yeah, because I mean, you can be at home and do the perfect like house mix and be like just technically perfect, but I think you'll never really be very, very deep. You'll just be on one level. So. Yeah, it's good.
It's not so much. It's still a good thing though, like being able to play, techno, house, the whole lot. And that sort of stuff.
For sure. And some people only do that, and that's fine. But I just find that you're just more well-rounded.
Yeah. Like I agree. Like you definitely have to. There's like different styles almost. And it's good to cover them, especially because when you're in a situation where you're out of your like comfort zone in terms of the music that you mix, because I've been finding that a lot as well, because I basically just house music, and I very, very much struggle with classics and pop music and all that kind of stuff. But it would be very much beneficial for my DJ career if I was able to do that, because I'd be able to get more gigs
Yeah,
See,
because what if you are at a location where you are playing dance tracks, but there's some people in the corner that say they might be a bit older. You think, how can I reach them with some like classics, but in a dance way? Then you'll find the happy medium, and then you got the young kids dancing, and then the oldies are like joining in, and
that's
that's where definitely where it
house
helps.
remixes of ABBA.
I
That's what
definitely
it
agree with
is.
that.
Yeah.
But I have to admit though, it's just like on the weekend, Mitch. Just quickly, like when we were trying to do back to back at the Quigley House, and I sucked on Pioneer equipment, unfortunately. But I had no idea about your music. Like he plugs his thumb drive in and is like, all right, let's do back to back. I'm sitting there like, where's your pop music? Where's your rock and roll?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what's this?
he might
What's
just
that?
have his own way of categorizing it. And
That's
then-
exactly it.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
fair.
with that, like,
All my pop music is in a playlist called background music.
background,
By the way.
or last resort folder.
yeah, that's it,
Yeah,
Or the
but I mean,
cheese is the
like if there's
cheese.
a search function, then you can kind of at least go, okay, I know what I want to play up here. If you can't find it, then
Well,
search.
that's exactly it, because it's even like with Pioneer. I had no idea you can just search by BPM.
Yep.
I had no. That's like
No, I haven't tried that one, but
that's
then
like,
then
makes
I
sense
actually
though,
don't.
but-
I don't really mix by BPM except if it's like urban R&B, then I will, because their genres really stretch from 70 80 up to like 110 120.
yeah,
Well, house is it's all within a few.
yeah, like exactly.
could be
Like
like-
125 to 130 or something.
Yeah, well, even if it's disco at 115, but it's still not that much in it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Searching BPM.
yeah. When he showed me that, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's kind of
yeah.
cool. But how do you see the key? Oh, you have to
Yeah.
sort it by key then after. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The problem
At the
is-
same time.
The reason, like, I was teaching him to search by BPM in my playlist specifically is because I put a lot of music into like playlists,
This guy
Um,
teaching me, yeah.
and I don't like make my playlist based on genres. I make them on like mood things. So like I've got like a playlist for like groovy dance when I want to play like disco-y like stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got like a playlist that I just call hype, which is just basically like hype bass house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it all ranges from like 120.
Well, it's tailored to you, so if that's the way it works for you, it's fine. But then, if you come in, it's going to be
yeah, that's it. It's
Yeah,
like, what is
but-
this? What is that?
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
do similar things as well? Will you tailor your playlists?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
Do you have like a few main playlists at all, kind of thing? What's
it's
in them
just
to an extent?
like there's so many subfolders within those genres.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, the thing is everything's so specific now. So it's going to be with this little, it could be early warm up with a, I don't know, commercial, non-vocal, vocal. If within tech house, you can get like 10 different genres within that.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy as well. It's like house music, dubstep, drum and bass. It's like there's so many subgenres within those genres.
Yeah, because I was playing a tech house club in Hamburg, and like when I first started playing there, I had to spend like a week just categorizing that genre.
Really?
Just going, okay, for this time of night, the non-vocal sets, just different energies, and it's you can't just go, oh yeah, here's 200 tracks, because you really need to like know how to get to those.
So then with that, because now you've mentioned Hamburg, we're going to get into this soon, but so traveling. So you said you went to Europe for a little bit after that first song.
Yeah.
What happened after that? Like, how did you play in China? Tell me all this stuff.
Oh, I was living in Oz then, because I moved back from Hamburg in 2005. In 2007, I got the booking.
But like Shanghai, like wow.
Shanghai and
wow.
I think Hangzhou was the
Can
second
you
one.
Google Hangzhou?
I don't even know how to spell it. It's really like
Go try.
no, but
This is
it
amazing.
starts with like a Z or something. It's not how we would. But yeah, Shanghai was.
Oh, you mean
incredible.
Guangzhou? Maybe because I've been to Guangzhou.
That one? Zhuangzhao?
no.
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 Look,
He's a
maybe
famous, what does it
look
say?
up
Chinese
G-
philosopher.
Look up GUANGZHAO maybe.
It was a nightclub chain called Babyface, and so I played 2 gigs there.
So it was a chain. Do they have many other nightclubs?
Yeah. I mean, I only went to the 2 cities, but my God, that was just incredible.
No, it's GUANGZHAU.
Like that.
No, not ZHU, ZHAU. Yeah, no, I don't know why it's not.
I don't think I'm going to be able to find the Chinese city. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. There's only like,
sorry,
there's
guys.
probably like hundreds of them.
So just quickly, Guangzhou is one of the most polluted places in China because it's one of the only. Well, it's one of the places where they make the cigarettes, factories, the whole lot. Yeah. I went there for importing, exporting with my parents, and it's pretty hectic.
Yeah.
When you went over there, though, could you look at the sun directly like I could?
It was just a haze.
Yeah, it's just a haze, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like a big ping pong ball, basically, a big orange ping pong ball.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. Shanghai was fascinating though. So
just the culture, right? Just watching people do everything what they're doing.
It was kind of like New York, because there was a lot of Westerners there. You know, I didn't go to Beijing, like, you know, which is, I guess, more traditional, but yeah, Shanghai is very modern and very cosmopolitan, I guess you call it. So that was just mind blowing.
Have you ever been to Hong Kong as well at all?
Not for when I was a kid, not for DJ. But I was going to say, Shanghai was the first place I ever saw glow sticks.
Glow sticks?
Yeah.
What do you mean glow sticks?
Glow sticks for the clubbers. It was about midnight, and all of a sudden, hundreds of glow sticks, big ones, went out, and all the clubbers started doing that, because that became a thing everywhere, like especially in America and Vegas, that was a thing.
Really?
Just to like create, if the energy was lacking, give everyone a glow stick, and all of a sudden the hands are going up, and the energy in the room just like lifts up.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But that was the first time I ever saw it. So that was
how long were you playing at Babyface and stuff like that? Because like with all your gigs and stuff, they're like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, or
well, because for years I did like headline sets, which were like 1 or 2 hours, really really short. But I went there for like maybe 3 or 4 days and did 2 gigs.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing though, because then you still have that one day to be able to go and chill and
I got to have a quick look around. Yeah. So because you don't want to waste it while you've gone all that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been I've seen it and I've been told by a couple of friends of mine that, you know, used to do Capital and stuff like that. And they were telling me it's like when an artist comes in, you got to show them around. You know, if they come in from over East or whatever, it's Western Australia.
And an artist liaison guy, like someone who took care of me the whole trip from the moment I landed at the airport. He was just took me everywhere.
Yeah, so, and that's what you need. And having that guy or that girl
tried some pretty crazy food.
Yeah.
So
like what was in Shanghai?
I can't even remember like what it was called, but it's not my favorite cuisine. So
no, it's Chinese cuisine's very out there. I have to admit, very out there.
I love it.
No.
Yeah, I love Chinese food.
No, you like westernized Chinese food.
No, I like Chinese food.
Have you ever had braised snake?
Yes. Well, no, I haven't had braised snake.
Yeah.
but I've eaten crazy stuff before, like the eternity egg. Yes, I've had abalone. Yes, I've had like deep fried chicken's feet. Yes, I've had deep fried tarantula. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
I wouldn't go out of my way to eat tarantula.
So like,
I'm just gonna be honest, but
we went out for a business meeting one night with the factory owner, right? And they offered us pigeon feet, deep fried pigeon feet. And apparently, if we didn't, because like they were giving it to the kids, right? And it's like, if you don't eat the food, it's kind of like an insult.
Offensive.
Yeah, it's offensive. And I'm sitting there like, I don't want to eat pigeon feet. I'm 16 years old. Like, no, I don't want to do this. And I got forced to do it. So, all right. It's not too bad, but it's like pigeon feet.
Maybe that if I hadn't have told you, I would have probably thought it was just like...
No, it literally looked like feet, though. It was just like deep fried feet. And that's the thing, like, as soon as they brought it out, I thought of New York to an extent. The reason why I thought of, like, New York is because they always say it's, like, street rats. Pigeons are street rats and stuff like that over there.
Yeah, spreading disease.
Yeah. So, that's Shanghai then. So, where else have you
because that was, you know, as a DJ, I was never on my list to go, let's go and DJ in China.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it wasn't that... I mean, there was a couple of really good clubs there, but it wasn't, I guess, what it is now in Asia. Yeah. But... It was unreal, but what are you gonna?
I was just gonna say, like, where else and like, what else have you?
I mean,
I've got the list here.
Southeast Asia. So I did Bali multiple times and Singapore.
Did you ever do like the coup d'etat or anything like that in Bali? Or
no, I did the Sky Garden heaps.
You did Sky Garden?
Yeah,
that's sick.
It did Cocoon, which was really nice.
Was that with Jason Stone and stuff like that with Sky Garden? Or were they there?
No, not that time, because it went through a few different booking agents and promoters at the time. So, but God, I mean, that was probably the last time I played. It was like 2014, I think. But that was a Cocoon, and that's a bit more of a housey beach club. But Sky Garden, as you know, is pretty like banging venue.
Yeah, that's what Jason told us. It's like 3-level, just super club.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there was. must be 5 or 6 different rooms with DJs in it.
Yeah.
So there was like a tech house room, then the big EDM room, and whatever. It was fun. It's like the place to
Super
go.
club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it back to a point that makes it a bit more succinct as to where the conversation's going.
Yeah. Sorry, we're jumping all over the place.
Let's start with how your DJing went from being a local DJ to being one that's now touring. How did you get yourself in that
It's simple,
situation?
just producing the music.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially back then, there wasn't that many people doing it. So there was only maybe a handful of big Australian artists.
Mm.
So, like TV Rock and Dirty South.
Yeah,
and that.
TV
So,
Rock. Holy crap, that's
yeah.
gone back.
So there wasn't that many. So and then I came along, so I kind of joined in with those guys. So I did Dirty Cash. That was like my first track. It was really commercial dance.
When was this released, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2006. Yeah. And then straight off that, I started getting booked in Melbourne at this One Love Club night, which was just massive. And it was played on daytime radio almost every day in Perth and around Australia on Nova and whatnot.
That's so
So,
cool.
I mean, it wasn't even like my plan. I just sort of put out a track and
Yeah.
it did
There
that.
it
And then
was.
Pete Tong, like, as we talked about before, he played it.
Yeah, Pete Tong.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. It's fucking
Yeah.
Pete Tong.
Well, actually, and admittedly, it was the Dirty South mix because that Dirty South mix ended up being the bigger mix. Like my mix was on the radio because it was a bit softer, I guess.
Yeah.
And for the clubs, there's a Dirty South one that did better. And yeah, so that started it. And then I did my second track, which was Electrify, and that was just aimed straight at the clubs. It was just banging, only a little bit of lyrics, just straight for the dance floor. And that was probably to now is my most successful track.
Really?
Yeah, it just did really well. It ended up on all the Ministry Sound compilations, and financially it did pretty well. And yeah, so
At that point, the first track you released, how many other tracks had
well, that was my second. So
So just
It's
a
a
second
case of-
song.
my first song
Bang.
ended up on daytime radio. That's what I mean. I was just,
damn.
I just, yeah, I know, because sometimes you think, it might take you 20 tracks, but
Yeah.
I just sort of put, I mean, Vicious were well established anyway. So yeah, that was a surprise. I thought, wow, is it not, I wouldn't say that easy, but like, I was like, God, already on daytime radio? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't pay to get on there now.
It's never that
That's
easy,
it.
but it's always a case of right place, right time, and
To an
a bit of
extent,
luck.
yeah.
So,
Of course. Look,
Yeah.
pros and cons being that back then it was a hell of a lot harder to make the music, so much harder because you had to spend 5-10 grand on hardware and all that stuff. There was no technology, but there was less competition. Whereas now it's so easy to make the music, but there's a million people doing it. So the entry
Yeah.
level is lower, but then you're going to compete.
That's it.
So-
That's where it really comes down to like making your own unique sound as
Yeah,
well. to
yeah.
an
If you
extent,
stand
right?
out, like say a Flume,
That's I was
He-
just about to
he's-
say Flume.
he-
Yeah.
he's in, he's in his own little space.
Yeah, he's
So-
in his own
yeah.
ball game basically.
Yeah. So first track was the commercial one. The second one was aimed at the clubs, but it did really well. And then the bookings keep going from that, and you just keep making tracks.
so what was the first international gig?
Oh, here we go.
Probably.
And what
Probably
year?
China, which was
China.
2007.
No
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, I did Bali multiple times. I can't put a timeline on it.
Mm.
Like America wasn't until 2011, but
So
Southeast. Sorry.
your first real dip into the international world was in Asia, then.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess, I mean, they're our neighbour, and it's quite close
Yeah.
to get up there. So,
Yeah, cheap
like,
flights. Yeah.
The industry there now is like really.
Yeah.
Like the dance
Yeah.
industry.
yeah,
Well, it
surprisingly.
was very big.
yeah.
And I guess you're one of the pioneers, I guess, that helped that along.
I know Australian dance music's been around for ages, so I just came in the electro era, I guess.
Mm.
So, because
was
when I was living in
But in
Germany,
terms of pushing it in China, like obviously you were one of many that went over time, but bringing that scene over, that culture over, the dance industry, were one of the pioneers during the periods of like mid 2000s to the middle 2010s, where China
Yeah.
was really developing that nightlife industry.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
you would have
true.
been a part of that, I
yeah,
reckon.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, I really don't know because I mean they had a pretty extensive lineup when you looked at the flyers there. They had people come in from all angles. But yeah, there was only a handful of Aussie guys, I guess, going over there at the time. So that was that's a highlight because it was so unexpected to go to a place like that.
Yeah.
So
what was it like just getting off the plane and just getting ready for your first set? Like just being like, I've never done this before. Like
what in China?
Yeah,
it was
China.
horrible.
Yeah.
Why? Because I literally got the flu when I jumped on the flight. So when I landed, I slept in my car to my hotel, and I was sick for a day. I didn't have to play that day, so
that's
the first day or two was horrible, but then it was fine after that. So yeah, it was unreal. It was a buzz, but it happened so quickly that it's all surreal.
Yeah. How many people did you play to as well? Like
there must have been. Well, the first night was like there was a fashion show going on, and it was. I mean, I can't really put in place on numbers, but the second club there must have been, I don't know, 600 or 700 or 800 in this very flashy club.
It's still really cool though.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was a real culture shock.
Yeah. Well,
so, just going through Shanghai, you feel like you're in Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
That was unreal.
Yeah, I found the exact same thing when I was in Guangzhou and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
But then, so with that though, so you've also played in America, Canada, Southeast Asia, Europe.
Yep.
Ibiza, Miami, New York. Like, so where can we start this off?
Well.
How did you get to America?
To sum it up, it was basically all to do with this guy called Cascade. He's like
Cascade.
Yeah, he was coming to Perth for years, like before he really blew up.
Cascade with the K.
Yeah,
no shit.
He was playing at the Cot. He was playing in Perth all the time because he was a deep house guy. He had a pretty small profile, and he would come over all the time and play.
I had no
idea. And
then
he started playing my music, and one day he wanted to hunt me down and meet me because he was starting to play my music, and he knew that I lived here.
This is the same guy that did the collab with Deadmauce on.
Yeah.
No
Ryan.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. So,
oh wow,
we became friends, and he was like, I remember.
That's so cool.
He played in the Coliseum 2008 or 9, a Coliseum in LA, and it had like 80,000, 90,000 people.
Can you look up the Coliseum in LA?
He dropped 3 of my tracks in his set, and all of a sudden people were like going, what's this track, and Googling it and all that. Yeah. And so. Yeah, he was supporting my music, and then he invited me to come over.
That's so he invited you to go over to America?
Yeah, because he...
Holy shit, Cascade invited you over?
Yeah, Marky, and...
Is this what you're talking about here?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
There we go.
So they're using it for, like, dance events.
So that's just like one big football field that just turns into a... That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I was getting messages like, "Hey, dude, we're dancing to your music. This is from America," and I'm sitting there at home on the couch going, "What?"
Yeah, like,
because
what?
that was when it was just starting to blow up in America.
Yeah.
So that was 2009. It was just starting to take off there, like, and really, really get exciting. So, and then Cascade joined this like a nightclub chain called Marquee, which they opened one in Sydney. But they started it in Vegas, so he invited me to warm up for him. So that was when I first got over there. That blew my socks off. That was incredible.
That would have been. It's Vegas, like
exactly. I mean, I'd never been to America, so firstly being in America was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Then to go to Vegas, and then to play in front of 6,000 or 8,000.
Holy shit!
It's a gigantic club. Like they cram thousands in there, but then there's the outside pool party area with like 3,000 or 4,000 outside, because it's 40 degrees still, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. So you're on a big screen outside, so everyone's watching you from the outside as well.
That's so.
And
cool.
I was just buzzing, and I had a couple of people from Perth, some friends. So I got them in, and had a few friends from LA there. So we had a little posse, and oh man, that was incredible.
How long were you in Vegas for then? Overall,
that's a good question. Where did I play? I played in LA. I wasn't there that long. It was like a quick trip. But this is the one thing I'm really bad at, putting the timeline together. Because I did it a few times, so it's a blur and alcohol. It's killed the brain cells. So, but yeah, that was like, I was in Vegas probably a few days and did the touristy stuff, and then I went to LA, played a gig there, and it was amazing because I started playing all these old electro tracks at this club called Dre's in LA, and it was brand new to them for what we thought was old, like 3 or 4 years old. I dropped this track, and everyone's like, "What?" It was so cool, like seeing it all like brand new.
Yeah.
Because it was like that in Australia, like 2005, 6. All these electro stuff came out, and it just blew up. So it was good to be there for that.
That's so
I
good.
did
though.
the same thing when I went to the UK. I experienced something very similar. I dropped a PNAU song now. I think it was like Chunga or something. Like I was playing in the UK at some university nightclub. No one had ever heard it before, but it went off.
Yeah.
And that's just because nobody in the UK listens to it now. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's a shame too, because like their music's so good. They should be, touring the world.
exactly.
Their music's that good.
Well, it's one half of Empire of the Sun, and they've already toured the world multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bloody Empire of the Sun.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take just a quick break while I'm here. There's a few people in the chat. Hi, Greg. Greg has warned me and you, Alex, that we should learn all we can from this legend.
There you go.
Jay Worthington concurs. He also thinks you're a legend. And somebody on Twitch called Cold Noodles just says hello. So hello to you,
I
Cold.
think Cold Noodles has watched a few episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Hi.
Shout out.
If you give
Hello,
us your
lads.
name, we'll... Yeah, sorry to...
Thanks for listening.
I'll occasionally do that, let you know what's going on in the chat.
So then,
I can vouch for Jay
Yeah.
because he came to some of my very, very first gigs when I did Dirty Cash.
Right.
That we did the CD launch.
So
Because
he's
back
OG,
then,
like...
he was there from the beginning. Like, I had a CD single, remember those things?
Mm.
Dirty Cash was on it, and we gave a few out, and had the singer, she performed live. So that was at the Cot Hotel upstairs.
Right.
And so basically I met Jay around that time. So he's been with us ever since. So
That's so good.
shout out, brother.
Shout out, Jay.
No, never forget your roots.
That's
Not in that way.
I'm sorry I forgot about you, Cold Noodles. Welcome back to the stream. All right, shall we continue with our questionnaire?
Yeah. So with LA, what was LA like? How can you compare LA to Vegas? Because Vegas is like the city of lights, right? But,
It's
but what's
Disneyland
LA
for adults, but it's just level 10 the whole time you're there. Everyone's walking around drunk and dancing, and it's just intense. Yeah. I mean, LA, I didn't see that much of it. It was a pretty quick trip. The gigs were great. I played a couple of gigs in different venues. I think the other one was called Playhouse, and that was really big venue, and yeah, it was fantastic. Never thought I'd be playing in Seattle. That was cool. Chicago was incredible. Miami I played with Paul Oakenfold, and that was just...
You played with Paul
Oakenfold? At Live.
Holy shit.
I saw Alex's neck just go like...
Yeah, Google Paul Oakenfold. Holy crap.
That was...
I don't even need to Google Paul Oakenfold, everyone knows.
Yeah.
That was a real highlight. And Live is an incredible venue. Miami's an amazing city. New York was just so many impressive venues there. And Americans know how to do it right. When they do a gig, it's proper. The biggest sound system. They're so hospitable. They take care of you so well. You know, they make sure you've got everything. I ended up playing in New York at Lavo, and I had like basically enough for about 15 drink bottles. I was like, what am I going to do with this? And they take you out for really, really lovely dinners and stuff. And so, yeah.
No, that's so good.
Speaking of Lavo, I think I've got some photos up here.
Yeah, and I'd love to... Wish I'd lived in New York. It's a pretty expensive place to live, but it's just the vibe in that city.
What did you notice about the American scene that's different from the scene back here in Perth? Like, what were the biggest?
Yeah, was it?
Well, I mean, they were behind. They were kind of behind us. I mean, they caught up really quickly with technology, but initially, I felt like they were behind us because we'd been doing it longer. Because dance music really wasn't big there at all until like David Guetta and all that started combining with our R&B. But so initially, they were a little bit behind, but the excitement level was just through the roof. Like everywhere you're going, it was just so big, and it was just 10 out of 10 party everywhere I go. But over time, they started getting educated really quickly. And when I was living in Vegas, like, and any given night, there'd be like Eric Prydz, Avicii, Chris Lake, Tiesto,
names,
Tommy Trash, like Stafford Brothers. I'd go see the Aussie guys when they were there. And that's on a Monday night. So they had unlimited budgets. So if they wanted anyone anytime, they would get it.
Really, just snap their fingers and
Yeah, some of the
siesta
money,
income,
some of
yeah.
the money that I was hearing about what the guys were getting paid, just it was mind blowing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with that. It's like
because it's Vegas. It's like they're funded by the casinos.
yeah.
So that was incredible.
I think I remember saying last week on Relax charged A for his one set in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah,
when he came to Perth. So that's ridiculous.
But
well, I know,
travel
sort of
and-
like the Calvin Harrises and Tiestos were getting probably 300K per set, and they were doing that twice a month, and that's just Vegas.
Yeah,
Just Vegas.
it's just so ridiculous, right? It
And
goes into
that's like
bonkers money.
Yeah, but at that stage, you're a celebrity.
Yeah,
you're a
I
rock
know.
star,
That's
yeah.
right. And they're going to sell tickets, it's guaranteed. It's a sure
Tiesto,
thing.
yeah.
But, getting back to Cascade, he was like God over there. Not so much here and in Europe. A lot of people know him here, but over there, everybody would sing every Cascade song, like every lyric. They'd know it. He was literally a god there. It was unbelievable.
It's amazing though.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
can't believe you know the guy. That's so cool.
Oh, no, I'm indebted to him, like, honestly, because a lot of artists that you see that have been successful, someone took them in under their wing, and he didn't do that, but he got me in over there. Like he invited me over there, and got me in the door. So I was so grateful. And then I joined an agency, and then I got to play around a bit.
So you joined an agency whilst you were over there. in
Yeah, it was like
America.
Circle. Yeah, they were just a booking agent, and did a whole bunch of gigs, and yeah, it was so good because, as I said, it was a new scene, so it was so exciting. And over time, it started to diversify. People started to figure out, hey, there's deep house and all this subgenres. So yeah, really, really good. I mean, they coined the phrase EDM, or the term.
Electronic dance.
Yeah,
music,
which
so-
it has got bad stigma, I guess, but I mean it makes sense, right? What it is.
It does make
it's
sense.
Really,
yeah.
really, really good.
So what about Canada? How did you manage to go from America to Canada?
That was done. Was that 2011 or 12? But yeah, just through hookups. Someone helped me out, so I played in Calgary and Edmonton. So there weren't some of the Toronto or anything like that.
Yeah.
So but I loved it. I was just buzzing just being in another country, and it was a lot of road trips, just looking out the windows.
Did it help
Wicked.
with your
Yeah.
like creative juices as well, and like the way you're informed now about create tracks now?
Yeah, like were you producing on the road as well to an extent at all? Or you?
I guess moving to America ingrained the EDM sound even more into me because it was everywhere there. But then moving to Europe really, really changed everything.
So-
Sorry.
I was going to say, how did you get to Europe after that? It was just connections again and networks, or
Yeah, just had one friend, not DJ connection, just a personal friend, and I decided to leave Vegas. I wasn't happy there, and it was either go back home to Perth or try Europe again. So I went to Hamburg, and the music was so different there, and that really influenced, because all of a sudden, EDM wasn't played anywhere, and you start to hear all these new sounds. So I was like, okay, I want to start making music like this. So you get sort of fixated by it. So yeah, so that was probably more of an influence on the sound more so than America.
Right.
how would you compare though, like Europe to America and America to Australia and China? Like Europe's its own ball game to an extent. I mean, America would be its own ball game as well. Right? But
It's like everything. Every country's got its commercial stuff and its underground stuff, but Europe was more mature. The sound, it wasn't so in your face. It was more melodic.
Yeah.
And I was hearing stuff that I considered to be quite boring, like this is like nothing, but people were dancing to it. I thought, okay, it was. I didn't get it. But
get
then
it
over
now a
time, pardon?
Do you think you get it a bit more now?
Oh yeah, totally. Like
Yeah.
after a while being there, you start playing, you go, okay, I see what they mean now. You don't need this big intense drop, and so America was still the bulk of it was still into this really in your face commercial scene. So it was drastically different.
That's the whole drop scene in a way, where it's like the build up and then hit that drop.
Yeah, that hard style. So there was like electro was through the noughties and that, but then that hard style just started to dominate.
Yeah.
And it was I think some guy made a mashup on SoundCloud. He got 50 tracks with like 10 seconds of each track and line them up, and they all sounded identical, like just the drops.
Right.
So,
Yeah, like
I think
chopping. Like you're talking like
no, I'm talking like the style of the track. Sorry, like
okay.
just
Yeah.
the way it hits this big heavy kick, and it was like a hard style of electro.
Yeah,
So
okay.
and I just lost interest after that.
Yeah.
So and then I went to Europe, and I was like, holy moly, there's all this other music. So yeah,
So what's Hamburg like then?
Hamburg, second biggest city in Germany. So Berlin being the first. Very, very cosmopolitan city, mixture of cultures, massive music scene for rock, punk, reggae, huge hip hop scene. Then there's the
Really?
electronic scene as well. Just a melting pot. And
hard to get away from the electronic scene. I think quite
Yeah,
established
yeah.
over there.
but it's good that it's got everything, because I mean I like other genres too. So if I just want to go out to a bar and listen to some like indie rock music and have a drink, it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, electronic was huge. So yeah, Hamburg, yeah, the wealthiest city in Germany, greenest city in Germany. It's got the most amount of parks. I just fell in love with it, and because I'd been there once before, I had some old friends. But basically, got there, spent months knocking on doors. So I ate up all my savings. So that's the thing when you go to new cities. And people go, oh, how do you do it? It's just like perseverance. I was going to all the places where I think that I might be suited to play at. And I slowly got to know the people working there. I mean, yeah, it was an advantage because I was Aussie. Like, oh, wow, you're Australian. You know, you're a foreigner. It was interesting for them. But I just got to know them. There was a lot of places I did not go up straight away, go, hey, I'm a DJ. Can you get me a gig? It was just I befriended everyone and then eventually told them what I did. And then I'd be like, can you let me play for 30 minutes at the start of the night, you know, so I don't, you know, ruin it in the peak of the night. So I went in that way. So it took me ages to get work. It took me
fully
6...
in like no one there that you knew, no like marketing contacts or agencies or anything like that. You just went in like, full on like
Pretty much
gloves
cold.
off.
Eventually they found out who I was and then, oh, hang on, this guy just came from Vegas. And that was a little bit of a selling point. But I didn't use that at the start so much. But yeah, I just had to start from scratch, basically.
If you had to do anything differently, what would you do differently? Moving from the UK. Tough question, I know.
Moving to UK?
Well, yeah.
Well,
So
to
when you
Hamburg.
went to the UK blind, like what would you do differently this time?
You
if
mean
would've-
Europe,
Germany,
Europe,
yeah.
not
Europe,
UK.
yeah, sorry, not the
yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm just saying that because I went to the UK and it's in my head.
Yeah.
Germany.
I don't know. Probably, I think I did it the right way. So
Well, there would be no wrong way to do it, right? In a way, like
I think there are wrong ways of doing it. When you see guys, you know, you hear the story all the time. Hey, can you get me a gig and all that stuff, and you don't even know them, and they message you private messages.
yeah,
If you know, I'm sure Ace gets that being.
yeah. We were talking about that. The other
Yeah,
day.
I mean, I've asked him. I mean, you've got to do it, of course, but you know, earn your stripes and show up and support the venues.
Yeah,
Like one of my favorite venues because I lived in Hamburg for quite a few years, and one of my favorite venues, I didn't play up for maybe 3 years because I loved it so much. But yeah, I thought when I was ready, I'd do it. So, but yeah, that's it. And for anyone in Perth, it's like get to be involved with the scene, befriend the DJs, don't sort of go behind them, and yeah, just knock on doors. So that's how I did it, and it took me probably 6 months to get enough work to survive.
and that was just DJing. You didn't have another part-time job. Or
Well, I
anything?
mean, as far as my work visa goes, I could only basically work as a DJ with the visa. But I was still doing a bit of producing.
Yeah.
So that was tricky though, like moving shop and moving house and that. And that's where I learned to produce in a bedroom. So I just I took my speakers everywhere, my same set of speakers. I knew the sound of those speakers. So if I had a half decent room.
what speakers were they?
Mackie HR824s. They were big, like before the KRKs and all that came out.
Yeah.
They were used for the THX Studios.
Oh, really? Like the George Lucas TXS?
Yeah.
No
So
shit.
they're really, really good speakers.
But they're 8 inches though.
Yeah.
That's huge to carry on a plane and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I put them in boxes.
Yeah.
Well, what I did was I left a set in Perth, got to Vegas and bought all my studio gear. And then when I decided to leave there, I sold everything except the speakers, put them in boxes, and took them with me to Hamburg.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, they're probably like, I don't know what now, but at the time they're like $3,000 a pair.
No
But,
shit.
Yeah.
All right. And that's US, Australian.
Aussie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still 3K.
But it had a really
so
good, really good deep frequency response, which is good for dance music to have a lot of the sub in there. So
yeah. Can you
Yeah,
look
they're
them
really
up,
good.
Mitch? So they're the Mackie HS
HR824s. Yeah, and I love them.
HR204.
No, HR824. Yeah.
Oh,
There we
look at
go.
those bad boys.
So, yeah, I mean, I just like, I'm never going to get rid of them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they do the job.
Yeah, well, that's.
I mean,
the
it can maybe get a second pair if you just want to bounce between. But yeah, so I took them with me and my laptop, and that's it. So
wait, off you went. No keyboard, no nothing. Just
well, that was
laptop
just
and
that was the one
speakers.
thing at least I could trust, because it takes a while to get to know the acoustics of a room.
Mm.
Whereas I thought, well, at least if I know my speakers, you're halfway there.
Yeah, that's it. That's
So,
exactly it. It's the same
yeah.
thing with DJing as well. So for me, like I've explained to Mitch multiple times, when it comes to Tractor, I'm just fluent in it,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just because I know how it works. But
Yeah,
Pioneer,
exactly.
I'm like, I can do it,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna be the same.
At the end of the day,
doesn't take
it's,
long.
Yeah.
it's not about the tool you use; it's about the product.
Yeah,
So,
Well,
I actually, for me, I always say it's not the tools, it's the technique.
yeah.
Because
technique,
I
agree with that.
have a very minimal studio setup, and even my DJ setup, because let the song speak in a sense. But I think anyway, getting back to before, so that helped with a little bit of income.
Yeah.
So just doing a bit of remix work and stuff here and there, as well as the DJing. So.
How many songs have you released in total, or like made and stuff like that? Hundreds or 50?
No, I mean, there's lots of demos, like minute long things. But God, that's a good question. If you go to my SoundCloud, it tells you I probably released maybe 20 tracks and done about 80 or 90 like official remixes, I guess.
It's still
So it's
really
not
good.
not that much, because actually I stopped for a while, and
Really?
I tell you what, that affected my DJ bookings,
Really?
because when I moved from Australia to America, there's just a time period of like having to pack your life up and sell it. I sold everything, my car, everything I owned.
Really?
I moved over there, and then to set your life up, we're talking like a couple of months. So you're not in the frame of mind to make music. And then from leaving Vegas to go to Hamburg, the same thing. So there was a real, like probably a year where I hardly made anything. And I got a lot less bookings, because it's like, unless you're making content all the time and staying relevant,
Yeah.
I just took time off. So, and it affected. So,
Do the record labels or anything ever really put pressure on you to an extent?
well, if they haven't heard from you in a while, they're curious.
Yeah.
They're pretty easy going. They're not like saying, hey, you must have this song done. They're just like, hey man, it's probably good for your brand if you have something out in the next couple of months.
Yeah. No, that's
So-
good then, because I've heard as well. It's like with some bands, it's like you've got to make an album. You've got to have that album done
Yeah.
before end of the year for the contract or anything.
Yeah,
But
dance music's pretty easy, and it's because it's like song by song.
not album by album.
They're
and
only
stuff.
doing it more so for the artist's best interest, really.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make a song for a year, you disappear pretty sort of off the mat.
Yeah.
Like I remember even a club owner had thought I'd quit.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. So,
Well, and that's just like what, 6 months of not making tracks.
oh
or
yeah, it was
like
almost a year really. I didn't have much come out,
Yeah,
but
it's just like you
2012 was my biggest output year, and then I had like the next year was almost nothing. So
Really?
it was like, yeah. So that's a lesson learned. So.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with just DJing as well. I'd say it's like you have to keep showing your face. You have to be out there. You have to keep doing it, because then if you stop doing it, it's like, well, are you still interested? Just like what you
creative
said.
industry.
Every
It's a
Yeah.
grind. Yeah.
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 I was going to ask about record labels. So who have you been signed to? Because I
Oh, look,
saw
it's-
before Ministry of
okay,
Sound, but
Okay, basically, yeah. There's two sides to it, because if it's an original track or a remix, so a lot of my remixes of other artists landed on like a release that's come out on Spinnin'. Like I think it was Cedric Gervais Molly. I did a remix, and it started on One Love, and then it got licensed to Spinnin', and there was one on Ultra and that. So, but most of my signings have been with Vicious, done Central Station, I've remixed for all sorts of labels, which I didn't tell you. I remixed a couple of #1 singles in Australia, like pop singles on Sony. So I was fortunate. It was a challenge, something I'd never tried before, and it was Guy Sebastian, Justice Crew, Team-O-Matic, and Jessica Malboy.
You did official remixes with Jessica Malboy,
Yeah,
Guy Sebastian.
I did Battle Scars from Guy Sebastian, and Pop a Bottle was from Jessica Malboy.
That's so cool.
That was all done from America too. Like when I was in Vegas, I did it then, and I was like, "Hey, it's a challenge."
Yeah.
So,
did you ever a good way to promote Australian music in America as well, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's still that music only stays within Australia because it's our little scene,
exactly.
Pop scene.
It's
but I mean, I still tried. I played a couple of the remixes in other cities.
Right.
So yeah.
But that's exactly it, though. It's that Guy Sebastian. What was it?
To crack over there? Different story.
We had Eurovision a while ago, right? And then they wanted us. It was a petition to send the presets over, and if the presets went over to Eurovision, I reckon they would have won. All right.
Wow.
But the thing is, though, instead, I'm pretty sure we sent
presets to Eurovision. Isn't that a singing contest?
No, that's what. No. It's a band electronic art thing. I'm pretty sure, like with Eurovision. I always thought it was singing, but then
Eurovision, really? I thought it was a singing contest, but
no. I'm
what do I know? I don't watch it.
Pretty sure it's just music, though. I thought. I mean, I've watched.
No, that's
Eurovision.
there must be another one you're thinking of, because I know it's Eurovision's like the.
No, Google it. Google.
It's like
Google.
Pop. It's pop music.
Yeah. Google it. Let's see if we can find
it.
I
mean, we've had some great. I mean, God, now with Rufus, we've
Yeah.
got some really, really big artists coming out of here.
But that's what I mean, though. Like with no, look up Eurovision presets petition.
It's all like it is all like you sort of real Euro trash, or what to call it.
Yeah.
Just real poppy stuff.
No, presenters. No, then presets, and then put petition. But yeah, no, apparently we sent Guy Sebastian over, and then we didn't even please go ahead and sign the petition for them to go over, because Guy Sebastian goes over then just
but he fits the mold of that, because it's a like a singer, as he said, like just a solo singer.
Yeah, so there you go, 5 years ago.
Wow,
that's
that would have been different.
That would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
That would have been.
Go over there.
Yeah, exactly. That music's too cool for the contest, probably.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. No, they're great. There's a lot of Aussie artists that just wished. I mean, in the dance world, I mean, Flume's done so well. And Tommy Trash, oh god, he was huge.
Have you ever met him before?
Pardon?
Have you ever met Tommy?
Oh yeah,
before?
yeah.
No.
He's a character.
Yeah,
he's a character.
He looks like a character.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Nothing like dodgy or illegal, but just backstage,
he's
like
just a
at a
party
ministry
animal,
gig,
right? Yeah.
just with everyone's had a few drinks. He was just so funny. It was really good, and the Stafford brothers were living over in LA, so it was good to every time like an Aussie would play in Vegas, I'd go and see him and get to catch up with him. Hook and Sling was living over there, so I got to see him.
Oh no shit!
So it was really cool, like just like an familiar face.
Yeah, it's Stafford brothers.
But you're on the other side of the world, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
Dirty South was there. One of the club owners took me and Dirty South for a trip around New York, just to all these places. That was really, really cool.
No shit. That's all right.
Yeah, it was good. And just because we knew each other from Australia, I hadn't seen him for 5 years or something.
Yeah,
so.
just to catch up and have a beer and be like, we're in New York.
Yeah,
how you doing?
but taken to some really cool places.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So then back to like the labels and stuff like that. So. Because you know how you're saying with with Ultra and Spinning and Ministry Sound and Vicious and stuff like that. Is it, so how does it work to an extent though? Because like you said, if they don't put pressure on you to make music, and then the official remixes, you just make a song and then you'll just send it out and then see what they think, or
it depends. Initially, like when I signed with Vicious, it was for a certain number of songs. And as I said, they never said you had to have your next song out by this date, but just for your own good, it's good if you have one out every 3 months or something like that. And then when my contract sort of finished, then I just do them song by song. So it was up to me to how frequently I wanted to make them.
Yeah.
It's so hard these days. I've got a good relationship with Vicious, so if I send them stuff, they'll listen to it straight away because we know each other. But anyone else like that don't know me, my God, it's so hard to break through it. It's your song. Yeah, it's not. You could have the best song in the world, but it's just them opening the email. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
it's trying to actually.
Yeah, so it's, as I said before, it's easier to make the music, but it's harder to break through now. So, but anyway, to answer your question, it was just really up to the artist, to be honest. Unless someone was locked into some heavy deal that they must pump something out every so often, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But quite often artists are making so many songs that they're trying to choose which one to put out as their next.
Yeah.
And there's,
So,
I've heard.
I would send the label maybe like, unless I had something that was really good, I would send them maybe 2 or 3 options.
Yeah.
And so, which one do you think the strongest? And the great thing with Vicious, with sort of cold calling labels, you make a track that's 90% done. So you could have spent a month on it or 3 months on it, and you could send it out, and they all hate it. Yeah. And you're going, well, that was a waste of time. But with Vicious, it was great. You could just make a 1-minute demo, just 1 minute, like a really cool loop, and they'll go, you know what, that's great. Turn that into a song. I like that idea because that way you don't have to spend a whole month on it.
That's it. How long does it usually take for you to actually make a song?
I can't answer that.
No, you can't answer that.
Honestly. It's so hard. I'd be more accurate with remixes because that's where you have deadlines.
Yeah.
That's when they say, look, we need this by a certain date. But it's not as hard because the hook, the main catchy part of the song's been done. All you're doing is reinterpreting it, putting a new bass line and drums and stuff. And the hooky part of the song's done. The vocals are done. So whereas the original track's done from scratch, so you can't put a timeline on that because you don't know how many takes it's gonna be.
Yeah, but that's art then. That's straight.
Yeah, exactly. And how much effort do you want to put into it? And you can't force creativity. Yeah. But like, remixes, some guys can maybe bash them out in 8 or 10 hours. Good on you. But for me, I allow myself 20 hours.
Yeah.
That might not be, everything studio. That might include 2 hours of reading a contract or emailing back and forth, but you're around about 20 hours.
Yeah, still, it's a good amount though. Like,
yeah, it's decent, definitely.
They pay you up front for a remix?
Yeah, because that's
what's that?
Do you own the rights to the song, or are you getting paid an upfront amount for the remix?
Upfront. Look, unless you make an arrangement, like the artist they might say, you know what, we don't have any money, or would you prefer you can have 10% of your mix that sells, not the original version, but if your mix sells the most, you'll get 20% or whatever, or you can, but most of the time it's an upfront fee. So let's say you have to sign a little agreement to say that you have no rights to anything else, but usually a flat fee.
That kind of makes sense though in a way, because it almost protects their interests of the record labels.
But there's been so many songs in history where the remix blew up and the original actually sort of went under the radar. So then the remixers just gone, well, you guys just made $1 million.
That's exactly it.
And off what I've done. So
that's where it kind of gets into like not the politics, but it can be just, I guess, shitty to an extent in a way where it's like you can go and make a great song, but then the record label's just like, no, it's it belongs to us now to an extent.
Well, you've got to be smart as an artist. Yeah. I'm reading paperwork at the moment. I've got a legal person. So you've got to be smart about it because there are little things that you don't understand or misinterpret. And that could be a deal breaker. Exactly. So you got to be smart about it. Just don't sign without getting some help. Sure.
How many contracts have you signed though? Or like things you've read and just been
not that many, but like a remix contract's it's like a 1-page thing and it's quite straightforward.
Yeah.
But some of the earlier contracts were really in depth.
Like
20 pages with some terminology that you like.
You were talking before about songs that got bigger than the remixes got bigger. Bryn Jones just posted case in point, Summertime Sadness, Cedric Gervais remix.
I don't think I know that one.
Yes. Then this is going way back, but like Azito to Bass Doom's Night, which is huge rave track. The Timo Mass remix was huge, whereas the original no one knew. D. Ramirez remix of Body Rocks, Do you know?
No, Body Rock, is that? No.
It's got Luciano on vocals. So his version blew up, and the original went overlooked. Whenever like someone like Axwell touches a track, he can make it really big. Dirty South's done some huge stuff, and no one really pays attention to the original. So yeah, it happens quite often.
Mm. Well, it kind of just happen like that sometimes.
More, it's too late.
Remix, yeah, sure. But at the same time, it's really helps the artist put Evermore puts them on the map. It can really be beneficial to the artist too. So, but you can never predict these things. Some tracks I've done, I thought are going to be really do really well, haven't, and then something I've just sort of put out with no expectations has done really well. Yeah. So. You can't always pick it.
Well, that's like what I was going to say with bands and stuff. They might release an album, they'll go, yeah, this is going to be the single, and then they release, and it's like, no, well, that should have been the single.
The B-side can be the hit.
That's exactly it, and it can be like that sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to bring it back to Germany and stuff like that. Sure. So you got NoHo, Nikki Tiger, Gaga, Docs, and Baal.
Pretty funny names, huh?
Yeah. So what are those? Like, they're just clubs, but they're like...
Okay, so Hamburg's got the biggest red light district in Europe. It's called the Reeperbahn. It's like sex city. It's just like so many like strip clubs, and there's hookers that are on the street, and sex supermarkets just bigger than IKEA. Oh, no, actually... I mean IKEA. I meant
big sex store.
I meant IGA.
IGA. That sounds like goddamn IKEA.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So now I'm questioning where you've been.
Yeah. What IKEA sex?
No, but like when you first go there, you go, let's go check it out. No, but these are like multi-level sex stores. They're huge. They're gigantic, and it's hilarious. But you just do it out of curiosity. Yeah. Anyways, there's also 500 bloody nightclubs in a small space. So I played through those venues that you mentioned. And so
they all just like, do they all have very similar vibe and like kind of style and stuff like that?
Or some. Read them out again.
So like NoHo, Nikki Tiger, and Gaga.
It's sort of I guess just main room dance, just accessible, nothing underground, nothing like top 40, but just commercial dance, good stuff.
Yeah,
as far as commercial.
In Germany, yeah.
Oh no, but it's still like you'd know half of the songs that were played there anyway. Because they're around the It's I think because of the internet, everyone's playing similar stuff. Yeah, they've got their own local hits that no one knows here. And I remember like "Intoxicated" by Martin Solveig was gigantic, but not really here. Yeah. But there it was ridiculous. It's big. It's like as big as Pinal Chameleon or something like that.
What was that one that went dun 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 dun?
Yeah. So big there, like it was ridiculously big. So each country's going to have their own thing. But the difference being is that most of the time I play the whole night. So I do it start at 11 p.m. and go till 5 or 6.
No shit.
So you do the whole night.
That's so good. You play for like...
If you're playing the underground clubs, then you're playing till 8 in the morning.
Quick question. What do you do about toilet break?
Yeah.
What's your tactic?
6-minute song?
Yeah. Either like... Yeah, I never had an issue, but yeah, you'd make sure you got a decent long song.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the toilets weren't too far away, so... Yeah, he always had a strategy. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 tracks, like a mini mix that had like 2 or 3 tracks joined together.
Right.
So
it's always good to have like little stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I've got a few tracks that are a bit like that. They're like mashups, but they're just like a little bit.
Yeah, like a little medley. And then also the lighting guy, a lot of them know how to use the gear. So be like, hey, if I'm not back, hit that button.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Here's one for you then. So doing long sets, so like down the beachfront, such as Peach Pit and stuff like that, or like Scarborough Beach Bar when you used to play there and stuff, compared to doing like 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Which one would you prefer? Like playing on the beachfront cruisy gigs, or like thumping clubs? And
they're both good, but I would say, okay, not getting any younger, but also that getting older, and I would say a little bit of health issues, that I much prefer doing the Arvo sets and the earlier gigs now.
Yeah.
I just really struggle with sleeping and stuff, so I much prefer the Scarborough stuff, and Perth generally finishes pretty early anyway. I mean, I did play Geisha on Saturday night, and that's probably one of the few later spots. But yeah, so I couldn't do that hectic stuff anymore. Not an option. It just ruins me.
I feel like you've sort of been like moving old guard of the industry now.
Yeah. Whether I like it or not, it's you get pushed that way for sure. I definitely. I mean, I watch on Sunday Greg.
Yep.
If he's still online, I don't know, but I just like love it. You know, he's
in here,
yeah, so exciting to watch. Like he's from the. I mean, he's not that young. Like he's in the middle, but he's so much fresher than I am. I can still make it work, but he's got all these brand new ideas, and he's so much more enthusiastic, and I just love it. So, and yourself, you know, you come in there after me that time. You had a bundle of energy, and you've got all your technology there, and I'm sitting there going far out. Yeah. I'm so behind, but it's good. It's good to see that because that inspires me now. Yep. So you've got to stay relevant.
It's all about bringing the energy, though, as well, to an extent, right? Like,
yeah.
But like that's what I mean. Like playing at a club from like 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The energy would have been.
It was amazing. I mean, that people think if you did that in Perth, that's kind of nuts. But there, Europe starts like they go out for dinner at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And you go to the club at 11. There's no one there. Yeah. 12 o'clock they start trickling in. 1 o'clock heaving, and they start slowing down at maybe 4. So you've got like 3 really intense hours. But it's amazing because. Actually, it was a learning curve because I'd done headline sets for 5-6 years. I was only doing 1 to 2 hour sets for years, and I actually lost my DJ skills because it was all about bangers. Because you were the guest, go play peak time set, and then I went to Germany, and then I go to these bars and watch these guys, and I had to go back to my roots again of like structuring how to start, you know, slower BPM, mellow music right through, and how to close the end of the night. Yeah. So I actually love it. I mean, you do the same thing.
You take them on a journey, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's it's fun doing the peak time sets, but warming up's fun. Building it.
Yeah.
So
it's more interesting, I would say, like in a technical way, don't you?
Yeah. Well, you're structuring it, you're building it, and seeing the party begin and get busier and busier. It's really rewarding. So doing the whole night there, but. They really appreciated the music, and I did a few Facebook posts when I was over there. Every second Saturday, I was playing in a furniture store. Sorry, yeah. Okay. First strike.
We were saying earlier on in the podcast that people tend to just
lean back
further and further away from the microphone. Here we are. Yeah. We've only got 20 minutes left, so you've done a great job. So.
Yeah. There was a furniture store I played every second Saturday, and I do a 6-hour set of just house music
at a furniture store.
If you play commercial, the boss would be pissed.
Really?
So it had to be like fresh, cool music, deep house, disco, tech.
How big was the furniture store?
Gigantic, like IKEA size. So, it was called Diverserai, and it was basically like a cool version of IKEA. Not that IKEA is not cool, but this was like cool. It was trendy. The guy went around the world and bought stuff from India and Asia and France, and it was just really obscure.
Is it like similar to like Culture Kings, where they have like DJs in the, you know?
So I haven't been to, so I don't know.
So there's Culture Kings, and they hire DJs to play in the store.
And a barber out
but like for a furniture store, I guess.
Yeah, but this had like a restaurant in it, and all every Saturday, all the staff would dress up and masquerade in all these really cool costumes, and it was a bit, not cabaret, but just really, really cool. So you go in there for more of an experience to check stuff out. And,
that's so cool, though.
And so I was on that every second Saturday, and I get couples that were 60, 65, 70 years old go, where'd you get this music from? We love it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what?
I used to post on Facebook, and people would be like, yeah, well, just let you know that, you know, back here in Australia, they've just asked for some Barnsley chisel and like horses.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
So the appreciation for music there, they're really switched on. Like they knew stuff. So the commercial stuff, but just lesser known stuff, they knew it. Or even if they didn't know it, they just danced to it. So I really appreciated that. They just loved their music there. That was really cool.
What's the most unique gig you've ever done as well? Because I mean, you played in a furniture store. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah.
God, let me think.
Even playing in Vegas and being able to play, and then have like out in the pool area and have your your face on the big.
Well, I mean, they're awesome. I wouldn't say unique, but God. Yeah, that's a good question. Now I can't think. I mean, they've had really like lots of cool gigs, but nothing like obscure. bet there is, and I just can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Yeah. So
You've done so much, you just can't even remember.
yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Ibiza as well. We do want to talk
Yeah,
about Ibiza.
well-
What was?
See,
No.
there's a restaurant chain in Europe called Izakaya, and it's like this 5-star Japanese cuisine.
Yeah.
And they had like restaurant in Amsterdam, Milan, Hamburg, and Ibiza. And I ended up being a Hamburg resident. There was a few of us, and I actually was going to Ibiza for a wedding, and I said, "Can I go and play there?" So they hooked it up. That was unreal. So it wasn't a club gig; it was a bar gig. Got to play awesome music. The people appreciated there. So
How many people? That is?
And you
Was it
get to
big
say you
bar
played in
or-
Ibiza.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
like-
exactly.
Yeah.
I finally got to the Holy Land. That was like,
Yeah.
it's it's
So what
the
should
Mecca.
people expect when they go to Ibiza? Because we've all heard the stories, but we
well,
don't.
$10 water bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Well, more than that. But I didn't go clubbing there. But there is two sides of it. There's like the clubbing madness,
Yep.
and the best of the best. And then there's like the more spiritual side. Like I felt like I was in Bali when we were there because we stayed in Ibiza town, and it was just chilled out. There's people riding scooters. There's like night markets everywhere. It was really relaxed, and we were just swimming at the beach. Went to some really nice, beautiful landscapes and stuff, which I didn't even know existed.
Can you look up Ibiza and like, because how big is the actual island?
Well,
It's tiny.
it's
Isn't it?
it's not that big, no.
Yeah.
Not like Rottness small. But
Yeah,
like,
no, it's bigger than that. Yeah,
but
it's like Tasmania or something, isn't it?
I wouldn't be that big, no, not at all. But
So it's
but
zoom out a bit,
and
Mitch.
interesting, like Bali has got different.
Oh,
Bali's got
shit.
like the sort of nice secluded bays, and then you got Kuta.
Yeah,
It's just
and
like
it's party,
just party, and Aussie idiots.
Quite big.
San Antonio is the equivalent, like on that side of the island, or the British go there, and they're just bonkers. So that's,
That's
like
what
the
I got
Kuta.
told, yeah.
That's like the Kuta for that island.
Yeah, that's because
So-
when I was at uni, I had some English mates come over
Okay.
here for exchange, and they
Yeah.
just said straight up, like, every summer we go to Ibiza,
Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah.
That's just like,
Yeah.
and then they went to Bali, and they're like, what the hell is this place? This is
Yeah.
exactly like,
Well, that's our Ibiza, but like,
yeah.
I went there for a wedding, so it was a different thing. I was there for like 5 days. It was more chilled, but I was happy with that.
Still,
we-
it's like a 5-day holiday, basically.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved
With
to
a
go
gig
back.
included.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And we were staying next to a lot of the main clubs that you see, like Ushuaia and all those sort
Did
of
you
places.
see Space as well?
Well, we went past it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did
it was cool to go. That's where that is, and
Yeah, that's
all
where
these-
Carl Cox plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just casually, yeah. I'm
so
walking
probably
on
not the
Holy
most
Land.
typical
Yeah.
Ibiza experience. Most people, they go there for the clubbing thing, but
But still, that's so good though that you managed to go and stay out in town and just see what's
yeah,
going on,
it's
what's
unreal.
happening. Yeah,
I loved it
because
Absolutely
that's the
loved it.
thing as well. I wanted to ask this about Las Vegas, but I've got a friend who's been to Vegas, and
Yeah.
he said it's like once you leave Vegas, then it's just desert. It's just like
Yeah,
empty.
actually, interestingly enough, if you go a block back from the Strip, it also goes straight to poverty.
Really?
Yeah, because I was living a block away from the Strip, and yeah, you go there and it's just glitz and glamour. You go one block back, and it was just like homeless people everywhere, and it was
Really?
just dirty. And yeah, there was like right next to where Tupac was killed. Like there's a spot there where he got shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was surprising. But it is, once you get out of that, it's desert. There's no natural beauty there. I mean, yeah, it's beauty in a way, but yeah, you can't
It's
do
just-
anything. It's just desert.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It's
If
desert.
you want to go Grand Canyon, that's like 4-hour drive. So that's something to do. But
Have you
otherwise,
seen
yeah,
the Grand
really,
Canyon?
it's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like going to a mining town, like
That's
up
it.
north.
Or just going 3 hours inland in Perth,
Exactly.
or 4 hours
Yeah,
inland.
so
Yeah.
but in that little small space, it's incredible what you
Mm.
see there. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. I wouldn't recommend living there. I mean,
No.
I had a choice when I flew to. I thought, well, where do I want to go? And Vegas is actually a cheaper place to live. I could get a really good place, cheaper than other cities.
Really?
And I thought, well, I already get a lot of gigs there, so I might just try it out there. So most
Yeah.
people do the LA thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just like
It's a much cooler place to be, for sure,
Mm.
definitely. But yeah.
Yeah.
You hear a
was-
lot of depressing stories about LA being full of lots of fake people.
Like a Kardashian.
Yeah, everyone you meet is like out to get you and like
That could be like
It's to
Hollywood
use
as
you
well.
and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the same with the Hollywood mentality, but it's becoming more of an LA thing.
Mm.
Well, I mean, Hollywood is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, because there's a lot of industry there. There's a lot of fake people, of course. And I was actually surprised at how run down the city was. I was disappointed. Like, I can't judge a city because I didn't live there, but from what I saw, I was like, this place is dirty. There's potholes in all the roads, and there's
You really
trash.
do live in a really.
Yeah. But I was going to say, Vegas, if you're living there, everyone that I met, it was like, what can you do for me? It was like a business transaction. Yeah. So it wasn't so much friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, I met some amazing people there, but it was just like, it's
so
like, well, who do you know? What can we do for each other? That's what I mean, because that's why people live there. It was there to make. They were there to make money.
Yeah.
Like you can make $100K a year waitressing.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's long hours but yeah, that's why they go there. It's just it's a hospital,
City of Lights.
Yeah, it's entertainment precinct, Yeah. So, but yeah, so everyone there is just there for the same reason. Let's go there, do business and make money and whatnot.
I wanted to ask about DIEWASHEREI store. Die
Wäscherei.
Yeah,
that's the furniture store.
Ah, okay. And then it has a 5-star Lagini lounge bar.
That was I played in Croatia, just on an island.
Okay.
It's like a small island off. We say Hvar, like I don't know.
Can you Google Croatia? Because I don't know where it exactly is on the world map.
Really?
Not really. It's pretty bad.
It's just one of those things. Unless you go to a place, you don't really do your homework, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Yeah, so, I 100% agree with that. So I don't know where LA is, but I know it's in America somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I had some basic ideas, but yeah, there was.
Isn't there Bosnia?
I mean,
Italy.
It's in Italy. Oh, it's off. No, it's opposite Italy. Yeah, no, and there's Serbia and Hungary. Don't go to Bosnia, you'll disappear.
Eastern European.
Yeah. What was Croatia like though?
That was breathtaking. That country, yeah, blew me away.
Is that the place where they have like all the nice white steps and everything?
It's just like incredibly clear water, and yeah, it's quite reminiscent of Rottnest in some parts. The fauna and the rock formations. And
can you go on images, Mitch, and we'll have a look at some of the stuff?
It's just it's really really nice. Quite cheap.
Oh wow, it is. Yeah, it is that place. Now go to the first picture. Because so many girls go to this place.
I mean, that's where they made a Game of Thrones.
Really?
It was made there.
No shit.
I
didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Okay, well, that's not really going to mean much then. Yeah,
that's beautiful though. It kind of looks like something out of Lord of the Rings almost.
It was breathtaking. And the thing about Europe is, I know friends that drove from Hamburg. They'd be there in 14 hours.
Really?
I mean, you could drive to Paris from Hamburg. Hamburg's at the top of Germany, going into Scandinavia, and like Paris is just sort of like Central Europe, and it's only 12 hours to drive.
It's so ridiculous with that, right?
Yeah, so you can be over an invisible border in like an hour and the language changes, and it's
yeah. But I've got some friends in Holland, and they were telling me it's like with Amsterdam, you can just drive from the top of Amsterdam to the bottom, or Holland from the top to the bottom. It's like 2.5, 3 hour drive or something like that.
Yeah, well,
like
I think Germany's. I think it must be like 8 or. They've got autobahns there, so there's no speed limit. So,
have you ever been on an autobahn before?
Yeah, it's dangerous if you drive slow. We're doing 170 in a tiny little hire car. But there's people going past like that, doing 250, no worries.
No shit. And they're just like Ferraris and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, the best of the best cars you'll see there. Yeah, I mean, European cars.
That's it, bloody Germany.
But yeah,
and they can go as fast as they want on the autobahn.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, because if you're overtaking, you'll look in your rear vision mirror and you'll see a car looks like it's, a K away, and you'll blink and it's up your butt because they're doing,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. High
standard cars. I don't know how they keep it safe, but obviously it works. Still around, so
yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's some.
We actually have highways in Australia that don't have.
When I was a kid, we went across some Nullarbor, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they changed that. There were 2 roads in Western Australia, I'm pretty sure, and one was across the Nullarbor, but they changed it to 110 k's though, because all the people were just getting hit by roos and stuff. Just Aussie bushland.
Yeah, well, I guess it's personal choice, Well, and with the autobahn too, though, it is dangerous if you drive slow.
Yeah.
So you
But
get
like,
on
do
there.
they have like fences so no animals? Or because they don't.
Oh yeah.
They would
yeah.
have deer there, wouldn't they?
They don't. Yeah, they've got. Yeah, it's like properly fenced off. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Last
Could be a
winter
bit-
was to 170 k's or something. You hit a deer, like, you disappear.
Yeah, a little bit
So
tragic.
with Croatia, because we only got 5 minutes left, just quickly. So where did you play in
Oh,
Croatia?
that, I mean, out of all the places I played, that was only like a few hours at a beach club. So I was going to say that's probably not high on my DJ list. But I just actually went there for a holiday and got to play there with a friend. And it was like a tiny little island, sort of like a 5-star. You go there on a boat and you go and have a beautiful meal. And, you know, it was for the people with Dosh. And yeah, and we got to play like just amazing chill out music. And there's like this crystal clear water right next to us. And you're just kind of in disbelief going, wow, I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm over
yeah.
there. On
Well,
an
we've
island,
got
like-
it. We've got our own beautiful island here, Rottnest. You know, I'd love to see that.
I've actually never been to Rottnest.
It will never happen.
What? And
They'll never allow it.
Oh, I thought you
They've
said I
had
would
some
never go to
stuff at
Rottnest.
the main in Thompson's Bay. They've had some events there, dance music events. Like there was one having some major DJs like Roger Sanchez and that, but they had to can it all because of COVID. But
Yeah.
I'd love to see them dedicate one of the bays out the back of the island and just say, okay, for a week we have our own, you know,
Sets on the beach
Festival.
or something.
yeah, it's just made for it. I mean, I appreciate it's a natural, beautiful island, but so much potential there.
Well, it's like with Coral Bay and Exmouth, but it's 11.5 hour drive, unfortunately. But have you ever been up there before?
I haven't seen that much of it, no.
But
So
it's like
on the
that
list,
almost,
and
but not
I'm actually
landscape.
wanting to go now because obviously we can't go anywhere. I'm actually craving to go.
It's
up north.
amazing, but if you go there in summer, it's like 45 degree
Oh, yeah,
days.
yeah.
But it's just
It's
so
intense.
beautiful.
It's intense.
I went up there and camped up there, and you can see the whole Milky
Yeah,
Way. You can
yeah.
see the whole star system. And
That's one thing about living in Europe that you would miss is they have like just there's a glow in the city everywhere. And you come to
light
Perth
pollution.
and you can see a million more, or gazillion more stars than there. So you do miss the clear skies.
But that's something you learn from like just traveling around, right? Because like when I went to China, I'd never experienced anything like that, and then I go and look at the sky.
yeah.
like,
So then you
there's the
appreciate what
moon.
you've got.
Yeah, and it's like there's one
Yeah,
star. Okay,
yeah.
where's everything else in
But,
Perth?
but how's this? When I was living in Hamburg in the summer, it would be dark at like 11:30, and then the sun was like up at 3 o'clock. You're putting your sunnies back on.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah. So the clubs in summer, they'd actually board up the windows with cardboard so people wouldn't see the daylight and want to leave.
No shit.
And so because it's getting like really, really far north. Like I remember, going to Sweden, and it was like, you'd see the sun sort of hit the horizon and then go back up again. But in the winter, it was also really brutal. So it's like dark at 4 o'clock, and then 8:30, 9 o'clock, it comes up, and so it's the complete extremes.
Yeah.
Where
I mean,
here it's
more
not
time
much.
to party, right?
Yeah, it's not, but yeah. So here's kind of like not much difference, but it was that was crazy.
Yeah.
So
So out of all your traveling and stuff like that, what is like? Oh man, I was gonna say like number one thing that you loved most about it and stuff, but
depending if you're talking like career wise.
just out of everything you've managed to achieve, though, like what is the highlight?
I mean, nothing's gonna like going to Vegas for that first time playing. That's just imprinted in my mind forever. That was really good. Going to China because it was just such a culture shock. Didn't expect to go there, and then living in Hamburg for sure. For the music, that was like it was just musically, it was so much richer than here. Not to bag where we are, but it was really, really good there. So it was so satisfying. There's a lot of things I didn't like about Europe, but the music kept me there.
Yeah.
If the music scene wasn't like it was, then maybe I might have left sooner. But I mean, being amongst Europeans is great too. But
It's
yeah,
just the culture, right?
yeah. So living the whole experience of Hamburg. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Always learn something.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah, for sure.
Well, like what we just said before, is just going to China. It's like holy shit, this is
Yeah.
China. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
much about the world. And
Yeah.
yourself and your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing the techno scene over there was like really, really good too.
in Hamburg and stuff.
Yeah, and there was some places that would open on a Friday afternoon and close on a Monday.
Did you go to Berghain at all?
No,
Oh,
no.
damn it! Did you
Yeah,
try
well,
line up?
There's no guarantees you're going to get in with
Yeah.
that place either.
Get to Berlin.
Yeah, definitely. Not for clubbing. I just because you're working the business, it's like the last thing I want to do is go to more. But yes, yeah, went a few times. I loved it there. It's fantastic. Yeah,
Lots of history.
So yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Like especially for the creative side, the arts and all that. Unreal. But Hamburg's like that, just a more compact version. Like Berlin's got pockets all over
It's
the place.
essentially like
Hamburg's
Melbourne
squash.
and Perth. Like Hamburg is Berlin, Melbourne.
But Hamburg's like Melbourne to me. But maybe in size wise, yeah. But it's just a more compact version.
Right.
And so that's why I liked Hamburg
Well, you would
more.
know better. You lived in Hamburg.
I preferred that because I just loved everything was within walking distance, all the key parts of the city. It was like Perth's population just squashed in a small space because they all live, in apartments on top of each other.
Yeah.
So the experience of Hamburg is you can't top that. So
Before we wrap things up, Nij, can you look up the population of Germany and then also Hamburg?
I'm guessing, look, it's gone down, but I'm guessing it's around maybe 85, 86 million. I think it was 88 a while ago.
Perth has a population of 3.5, I'm pretty sure. 83 million in Germany.
Oh, God, it's gone down.
What about...
Shit, I hope 1 million people haven't died, but no, it's I think people
It's scary times.
No, it's
Hamburg
not
is
that.
a similar size to Perth.
Damn. No, I think Hamburg's smaller than Perth. Look at Perth.
Yeah, but only by like 100k.
Yeah, check out Perth.
Only 100k.
Yeah, look at that. Damn. I expected Hamburg to be bigger, like 3 times as bigger.
Nah, like Perth's actually got the biggest footprint in the world for the size of a city.
Really?
Because it extends like up to, I guess, Yanship now, and then
Yeah.
Mandra's almost a part of it because it's, populated all the way down. So it's got the biggest footprint in the world, apparently. And the least
Because we've got so much space, we spread out
Yeah.
instead of build up. Whereas most developed countries, cities, I should say, are having to build up.
Well, it's like with
Yeah.
England. England's and Hamburg as well, as kind of what you said, but England's all just apartments. And
Yeah, I mean,
skyrises.
there's no real estate, whereas
Yeah.
Perth, everyone can have a backyard and a pool.
That's
just unheard of in other places. Go to
Yeah.
New York, my God.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Or go to India or something.
I mean, it's got its advantages and disadvantages with the population density.
What's the population of Berlin quickly, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm guessing it's about 5 or... Oh, no, it must be more.
Actually,
than that.
after you do Berlin, I want to look at Las Vegas. Yeah, 3.7.
Oh, okay.
That's not too bad.
Awesome.
The thing is with Germany is that there's Berlin and Hamburg, but every few k's is like another village, and that's why you get like so many people in a space the size of Tasmania.
Yeah.
There's like 4 million.
See, Alex?
Yep, 644,000.
So Perth is twice the size of Las Vegas.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
So now, do you think Perth is a small place?
You mean you were talking
Twice the
size or
size.
population wise?
Population-wise.
But
Yeah,
what
well,
about
actually, that's
greater?
even like a third. Well, I don't know, because that might be residents, but then you got to like triple that with all the people coming in the city. Like
Yeah,
on any
tourists and
given
everything.
weekend, you would see about Thursday, Friday, the population just jack up like in the city when I was living there, and then Monday it would just drop. Everyone's like left and gone back to whatever because they just come for the weekend.
And it is true as well. Like lights never turn off. It's just like the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, exactly. Like any night. But yeah, people would just fly there for the weekend. Like we would go to Mandurah. People would fly really cheaply to Vegas from LA and just go party and fly home.
Yeah.
Or drive home in 4 or 5 hours. So,
Yeah. Well, that's what happens, with us in Bali to an extent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they'll go for a week though, not just a week.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be grateful for that because, I mean, that's our special little island. So, obviously we won't be going there for a while. So.
Yeah, and it sucks as well because they were going to put Ultra Music Festival there, and I think that got
They've got some
canned.
world-class clubs there too. What's the one on the cliff that just recently opened? It's Omnia, was it?
Omnia.
Yeah.
It's on a cliff.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. You look at the
they
pictures
built this
of that.
platform that's overhanging the cliff.
Yeah.
I showed you a
So
video of
isn't it
Omnia.
like a
Really?
like a
Pull
cross?
it back up again. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That
It's pretty
sounds
impressive.
really cool. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they were getting, the best DJs in the world playing there too. So for us, as you said, you could just go there for the weekend and look at some really good acts.
yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
And that little cube there is a stage. And it's like overhanging
Wow.
a cliff. And then they've obviously got the pool vibe.
That's-
Yeah, that top
so
right
cool.
picture, that's pretty encapsulates it.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. All right. But we got to wrap things up because I was going overtime.
That's correct. Yep.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
like,
no worries.
holy shit. That is so much information, so much
We gotta plug
education.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well,
I
so-
could have. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I could have waffled on for. We scratched the surface.
Well, you have
So,
to come back on so we
yeah.
can go more depth. Like,
Yeah, it's fun. No, it's fun.
Yeah.
I actually haven't talked about stuff for so long, so that's where you made me think for a minute. I was like, shit.
Yeah, we can see a few pauses with the like processing.
Yeah. It's just it is like in some there's some key moments, but then there's other parts that are a bit of a blur because if you went to the same city 5-6 times, I can't actually remember what happened which year.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the same thing with me with China because I've been there 4 times, and every time I go there, I'm like, well, every time I try and talk about it, it's like, did that happen the first time, second time? Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm like a raging alcoholic, but because there's alcohol involved at the event, you know, it does blur the experience a bit.
Yeah. But that's
Alright.
like every DJ ever, though, right? It's so hard not to have that. Like, it's just water. When you go out and play, it's water, unfortunately. But is there anything you wanted to plug as well? Any upcoming releases, any mixes, or any gigs
you
you've
playing?
got coming up?
Mind Electric stuff is not that well at the clubs are. It's a bit of a weird time, like because I usually play in Melbourne and stuff. But I mean, I played Geisha twice in the last month, so I'm not doing that much Mind Electric stuff gig wise at the moment. That's okay. But just done a remix for John Course. Everyone knows John Course.
I don't think I know John Course.
He's like a legend, absolute legend.
We'll have to look his music up.
He's a veteran DJ. He's one of the biggest sort of dance figures of Australian scene for 25 years. He's
No
the
shit.
DMC champion back in the day, but he's really good at his craft. He's one of the co-founders and owners of Vicious Recordings.
Okay.
Anyway, I just did a remix for him, which is number 2 in the Buzz charts. If you look at the ARIA website, yeah, I've got new music coming, plenty of it, which I can't really announce yet. But
That's all good, yeah.
yeah, all COVID productions when we had all that extra time. So
Yeah.
I actually haven't released anything this year because one thing with labels, everything's sort of paused
Yeah.
because they're going, well, look, you know,
Heard the same thing as well.
it's like clubs aren't opening, so we're going to kind of wait because if we release it now, it's not designed for listening on Spotify so much.
Mm.
So it's like, we'll wait, but God knows when it's going to happen. So a lot of my releases are going to be a lot later than we planned. So
No, that's still really good though. That's awesome.
yeah. So
And-
yeah, that's
and
all right.
then-
But yeah, just I guess I won't plug too much. Just check me out on the socials, and then you'll see because I always announce stuff.
Yeah. Well, Mitch
So-
will put your socials in the comment
you.
section, stuff
Yep.
like that. With video
Pay
and
attention to
everything.
the links in the bio of the video. They will be updated.
Yep. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and do everything to help us out. There's people watching.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to beat the shit out of me, but
There's
Um,
not
Stop
many- not many
making
guys
me out
doing
to
what
seem
you're
so
doing, are
violent.
yeah. Wait, what'd you say, Mitch? Sorry?
You got to stop making me out to seem so.
You're a violent person. You're a villain. I just want to say that. Mitch
You
the
seem
villain.
far too chilled out.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
Every podcast, I'm just like, no, just like, share, subscribe. He's going to hurt me.
I like your little sound treatment here as well.
Yeah.
Give it that bit of warmth in the room instead of so it's not an echoey garage.
That's it. Well, when we first started doing this, concrete floors.
Oh
and
yeah.
Just, yeah. It was horrible.
I've had to learn how to dampen sounds in rooms when I've gone to produce stuff.
Just don't buy this stuff because it's so thin, and I bought it from China, and it's just one of those things where it's like, now I've got this coronavirus thing. I bought some and they still haven't come, and I'm thinking like, do I wanna open it and just
Well,
go? Styrofoam.
open it in your hazmat suit and
Yeah, that's
spray it down and
Yeah.
All right, lads.
Yep. All right. So this is episode 44.
Correct.
Yeah. This is me. This is Mitch. And this is Christian. We're signing off. Thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
And
pleasure.
also, you have to sign the wall as well. You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
forget
sweet.
that.
Sweet.
And
Do
yeah,
that.
we'll see you next week for Shan.
Oh,
Shannon.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's coming on. I can't wait actually.
Yeah,
Because
he's doing very well.
he's doing very well. Streamline Perth, that wedding company, they're doing
Yep.
very, very well. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to pick his brain about his whole career and
Sweet.
everything he's been doing.
Unreal. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be good. All right, thank you guys,
Peace.
and we'll see you next week, all right? Catch ya. Bye.